amazing with technology, what we can do. Coming in from Los Angeles, California, a suburb, Rob Stone. Welcome to the program, Rob. Nice to have you with us. Rob, are you there? Ready to go. Hey, Rob, are you there, buddy? His ear pods are connected to his phone right now. It looks like.
So he'll see himself. Hold on. Let's try it. Rob? Suggest that. Hold on. Let's try it again. Hey, Rob.
Nope, not yet.
I feel like we're kind of like weathermen reporting on a weather story, and we're like, hey, Rob, you're down there on the floor, and he's like in the middle of a hurricane. He's getting blown around.
Oh, I know he can hear us right now because he's laughing. So
yeah.
I gotcha. That's good.
He's here.
That's good. That's
like
good.
Anderson Cooper today.
That's a good parallel. Well, I'm sitting here and I'm like banging out stuff on my phone. I'm like, I can't hear the guys at all. So I send you the note on the little private chat, and then all of a sudden there's a bomb, and I see my face, and I'm like, I'm ripping my ear pods out. I'm turning off my phone. I'm digging for this stupid air traffic control headset. Communication these days.
Did you ever see back then that you would be where you are today?
You know, my dad was a big believer in setting goals for yourself. So I set work goals for myself, career goals, if you will, back when I was in high school and in college. And basically the line was to be the next Bob Costas, which is really incredibly lofty. And I can't believe I was that bold and ambitious to drop that on myself. But that was the gist. That was the trajectory that I wanted to do these type of things. So am I surprised I'm here? Yes and no. You know, this was my goal. This is what I wanted to do. These are the things that I worked really hard at and continue to still work at. But when you do hit that pause button, and, you know, it's Saturday during college football season, and I just kind of swivel my chair to the left, and I'm like, Brady Quinn, Reggie Bush, Matt Leinart, Urban Meyer. Okay, this is good. Like things have worked out pretty well for Rob.
Bring in a stalker. Jesus.
Yeah! I was right. It was one of my two. What's up, Randy? How are you, Randy?
What's up, buddy? God, I miss you.
Look, I had no demands when I returned to bowling. They were like, "Do you want to do it?" I'm like, "Yeah." I'm like, "But I'm not going to do it if I'm not doing it with Randy." And they're like, "Oh, Randy's absolutely doing it." I'm like, "Good," because I'm not doing it with anybody else. Like me and Randy are the deal. Like that's the package deal. We go together.
Well, you know the last show that Richie Allen was on. Of course, now he's the artist formerly known as Richie Allen. It's Dick Allen now. We had a couple of beauties, and I don't know if you remember, Rob and Mike and Matt. I don't know if you remember, but I went down this road.
So juvenile,
about
juvenile, by the way.
And in my brain, with every word that came out, and then Rob does his patented Rob Stone move where he looks at me, like turns his head and looks at me, and I remember saying something like, "You know, Rob, you've seen a lot of Dick over the years on the PBA tour," and I just kept digging a deeper and deeper hole. And as these words are coming out, Rob turns his head and looks at me, and now I'm even deeper in this hole. And I'm like, all right, how do I bail myself out of this? And it was simple. It was just simply saying, don't you think he's the most unassuming champion out here? And Rob, played it off. And then I think it was a couple of frames later where Rob says, Dick heads to the left. So Dick was coming off the right lane, going to the left lane, and Rob says, Dick heads to the left, which then made my head hit the table.
Did you guys plan this matching outfit here today?
I had mine on first, just to be, just to clarify. But why not, right?
Yeah.
I have this basket of laundry sitting right next to me. I looked at what Chris was wearing, and I went, we could match.
Hey, it's perfect.
Matt, can we full screen, Mikey? I gotta see what's going on in the background there.
Oh, my blanket ladder.
Yeah,
like my blanket ladder. It's just some. It's what happens when you move in with a girl. She starts designing the whole house, and I don't really have a say in it. But that's less responsibility I have. I just let it happen. I'm just thankful she lets me sleep in the bed every night.
Yeah, I've come to find that a lot of people involved with bowling, and I guess just in the world, don't really know about Twitch because there's so many questions every week when I post about giveaways. They're like, "What's Twitch? How do I win the giveaway?" And I stream 6 days a week. I take Tuesdays off to take care of some responsibilities. But the rest of the days, I'm a bum and I'm sitting at my setup for 10 hours a day. But I do giveaways on Fridays. They usually start at 7 p.m. Pacific. And what we do there is it's called a marbles race. So it's complete RNG. It's random. A bunch of marbles run down a track, and then whoever wins, or whatever marble wins the giveaway for whatever we're giving away that race. We also do giveaways after our Bowl DMC podcast on Saturdays. Not as big, but we still give away some shirts and whatever our special guest has offered to give away. So it's pretty cool.
I got a comment here. Brad's missing and Prather snores. Is Prather a big time snorer?
Yeah, he
He's
pretty
like
much
a
has to room.
bear.
He pretty much has to room by himself every place we go because he snores so bad.
Maybe he does that on purpose.
I was going to say,
probably-
maybe that's a tactic that he uses to get his
I
own
think it might
bed.
be. It might be. It
Oh,
works
man.
though because we're not sleeping by him.
Darren, why Vegas?
Why Vegas? I think you already know the answer to this question, but for our viewers, if you didn't know, and I don't think my mom wants really more people than already known to know, she hit a really big jackpot back in 2017. Was it 16 or 17? It was at Team USA trials at Sunset Station.
2017.
17. Oh yeah, that was when we all bowled terrible.
Yep, yeah, I finished like 50. So.
It was. I remember too. It was day 4, I think. She hit a really big jackpot, 7-card straight flush, $370,000. And I remember just asking her, "Can we just go home now? I don't even want to finish the tournament." But yeah, and she wanted to build a house out here, needed somebody to live in it, and San Jose was getting extremely expensive to live in, and looking forward financially, it just made more sense.
What's going on in the love life for you?
Nothing.
Nothing. Cricket.
A whole lot of nothing. Yeah, just
You're-
hanging out, man.
Aren't you-
I'm a busy man.
Aren't your DMs like overflowing at this point after our
Shooting
poll?
women down left and right.
Nah.
Can't do
You
it
know,
right now.
we're busy with the work and we're busy getting stuff done. You know.
I'm rooting for Mikey to win first.
I'm just rooting for someone.
Get these career earnings up.
Yeah. I mean, someone's got to bring up the rear, right? Someone's got to do it.
So you are my Scottie Pippen, Matt, and without you on this show, we couldn't win championships.
I'm
So
moving up because a couple days ago in one of these testing sessions, you called me your secretary. So now I've moved up from secretary to Scottie Pippen. So I like where this is going. And we're only on episode 22. So who knows where I'm going to be at by the time we get to episode, or 23, excuse me. So who knows where I'll be at by episode 40.
so let's bring in our buds, Brad and Kyle.
Listen, I want to say, first off, Matt, don't be taking this Scotty and Jordan reference, all right? Your ceiling's higher than that. Okay?
Thank you.
There's
I don't know
nothing
how.
that says you can't be Jordan.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Screw Mike Flanagan inside bowling. I'm Jordan. I appreciate that. I appreciate that, Kyle. Mike, I hope you're listening. I hope you're paying attention here, because every time we have guests on the show, they always hype me up, and you're like, yeah, Matt's good. Matt's good. Do all the little work, archive everything, type everything up, set up the episodes. But I think I'm meant for more, Mike.
Destined for greatness.
You know, Mike's the worst bowler in this group. I just got to say.
Yeah, he is. Well, that banner behind him would tell a different story.
Well,
That's my gateway banner.
That's your gateway?
That's my gateway
Was
banner.
is that an 800 or 300? That's 300, right?
100, yeah.
you would be the only guy that gets alternating colors from letter to letter. I mean, that's just such a Flanagan thing. Most people are just like, yeah, white banner, blue letters. You're like, white banner, red F, red A, red A, red A, and then blue other ones.
Are you guys overrated as bowlers in the landscape of bowling because you have a YouTube channel?
We're good enough to back it up. It's not even about being good enough. It's more so being knowledgeable enough. Because a big part of our content is just showing the world what professional bowling is all about. The beauty of it right now is that we're actually able to compete and we can share our personal stories, but I think we're knowledgeable enough now that we could still run content about the PBA and be okay. We can tell the stories about other bowlers and how they bowled. And maybe at the beginning, like we weren't very good, you know, and maybe our content wasn't as good either, but I think our content has helped us out a lot in terms of bowling as well. So I think right now, yeah, we fit the correct mold. We're right in there, man. We're right in there with all of them.
But why the decision to do the channel together?
for one, when we first started, the learning curve was so steep that it really was like, okay, you know, 2 brains is going to be better than 1 to figure it out, because we had no idea what we were doing. And then the other thing I think really helps with doing it together is the accountability factor. You know, I think if either one of us was doing it just on our own and it was our own responsibility, that there's a chance we would want to give up on it and just not do it, because, you know, we were basically starting from ground zero, had no idea. But the fact that we were both in it is like, okay, you know, it's both of us. I got to get this edit done because, you know, it's affecting more than just me. So as far as, you know, why we decided to do it, the learning curve, the accountability, and then like Brad said, the idea of doing it together is just, and then now that we got more people involved now with the house, just makes the experience so much better. I wouldn't, because the story's not just about one of us. You know, we're rooming together, we're going through the struggles, we're going through the triumphs, and the story's about more than just any one of us. It's about all of our friends, us too. So it just made sense in that way.
That looking back on your YouTube journey that you guys wish you would have known, that you wish you would have changed and done different to hopefully, like, to possibly progress you guys further than where you are now?
Part of the beauty of it is the journey. So, you know, yes, if we were, you know, filmmakers, knew how to make all this content, it would have been great, but that kind of takes away from the realness of what the vlog has provided. So there's really not a whole lot that I would choose to do differently, even on the lanes, man. Like, it's just, you're not going to learn, you're not going to get better until you learn it yourself and figure it out. You know, people can tell you it as much as you want, but you're not going to learn that lesson until you live it. And that's been one of the coolest parts about the vlog.
At the PBA League last year, Kyle Troop came up to us and he's like, so how many subscribers you guys got? And I'm like, I think 25. I think I might have said just like 25 or 27, something like that. And he goes, oh, 2,700? And I'm like, no, 27,000. And he goes, whoa, really? And so like once it started to grow, people really opened up to it. It was, but at the first, I think one of the biggest struggles though is just kind of figuring out what makes sense for your channel. So your titles, you got to have some kind of guy making thumbnails if you're not good at it. You got to have your descriptions match your titles. You got to figure out what content people like. There's a lot that goes into the YouTube game that you just simply can't know without doing it. You got to put some time in, and you got to figure out exactly, like Kyle put together the best video we've ever made production wise with his friends, and that video got 14,000 views. But
I was so mad.
A vlog we made that we barely even shot anything got 70,000 views.
Dude, can I tell the story from Team USA camp from my perspective?
Oh yeah. I don't know where you're going with this, but yeah.
Dude, okay, so back in the day, me and Matt weren't very close. In fact, I didn't really like Matt a whole lot.
Yeah, no, I think it was mutual because we were so similar, and we both had egos, and we both were just like, yeah, no, this dude's like messed out.
And we roomed with each other that week. We're rooming, right? And I really didn't like Matt. I don't know why. We didn't know each other very well, and right. I was just like, you know, this guy, he rubs me the wrong way, you know?
Yeah, dude, it's so funny.
We had to do an exercise, right? And we had to do an exercise, and you had to stand next to the person that you trust the least. And I stood right next to Matt.
I love it.
I don't even know if he remembers this, but I stood next to Matt. You know, I'm here. I'm gonna be honest about this. This is what it is, and I stood right next to him, and we were rooming together. And now it's just really cool because the circle is completely flipped, man.
Yeah,
it's cool to see that progression. So I thought I enjoy that story because I'm like, wow, things have changed.
So Matt, let's go ahead. Let's bring up our guests today, Robby Spigner and Mike Fagan, who are both checking in from Minnesota. Mike, obviously, a lot of people followed your career, and there's been a period of time now, 4 years or so, or I'm losing track of time, that you pretty much quit the tour and decided to go in another direction in your life. Could you just get some people up to speed on kind of what happened after that, what you did, the work you put in, the job you got, and where you're at now?
Yeah, I had an incredible opportunity in front of me. I was able to go back to get my MBA. So I was accepted into the University of California, Berkeley MBA program, and just, you know, figured it was an opportunity that I could not pass up. I had bowled on the tour for 13 years. I think it was time for me to step away and try to pursue other things. so I spent 2 years getting my MBA. I ended up taking a job in Vegas, much because I really liked Las Vegas from my time there. And I also thought that on the back of my mind, I could also continue to bowl a little bit. And when people came to town for different events, I would see my friends more often. So I ended up choosing Las Vegas. I was working for MGM Resorts. Kind of a blessing in disguise, I think, that I ended up getting a call from Robby to come work for Triple Shift Entertainment, because MGM is obviously not doing so well right now. But, you know, long story short is I'm back in the bowling world. I'm really happy to be here, and I'm working hard to grow Triple Shift Entertainment and make sure that it's, you know, an industry leader. Can I ask a question?
No,
no,
you're not the host.
I just want to know, was it strange for you bowling against your idol and Brian Goebel in your ball roll idol? Because you guys
That's right. That's right. Probably the only guy that had a smaller track than I did at that time. Oh my gosh, how that all happened was college and bowling at the Union at IU, who hadn't seen oil since 1984.
Gotta get that.
And I had to get the ball down the lane. My ball roll was so much better before I went to college. My dad will attest to that. Really disappointing. We've got a really strong base of centers, and in a market that loves bowling, that we identify with. They're good hometown Midwestern people, just like me. We transplanted a guy from Long Island out there, which caused a little consternation.
You guys were cruising along. You guys were doing really well. Best February ever. And then boom, coronavirus hits. And we all know what we've had to deal with. And I think a lot of people that are listening to this program today really want to get your feedback, both of you, in regards to how it's impacted your business, how you feel about what's going on, how you're going to come out of this, the steps that you've taken.
Yeah, so you've got a lot to contend with here. To be successful in reopening, you need, one, the ability to reopen. So the government has to allow you to reopen. Two, you need to have the team to reopen, which is a challenge in today's environment because of some of the stimulus packages. Three, you need people walking through the door. And four, they need to be able to spend money when they come in. So all those things have to fall into place for us to successfully reopen as a business. I think for the near term, you're hard pressed to see people racing out of their homes to go inside. And that is one of the challenges of our business, is it's indoors and it's summer and they've been cooped up for months. So I think the next couple of months, we're going to take it very cautious. We're going to do whatever is necessary to protect our team and our guests, and whatever is best for bowling. I do think there's challenges when you talk about social distancing restrictions in our business. Our business is built around socialization. It is all about that, 100%. People don't go bowling alone. They don't go bowling so that they can bowl on Facebook or on these other platforms so you can bowl with somebody in Arizona or around the country. You go with a friend. I don't have friends, so I go bowling alone. So, but I'm in the minority these days. So you're hard pressed to see, how do you succeed in an environment that is built 100% around socialization when you have to social distance. So you're going to have to see a great relaxing of restrictions. Hopefully this all comes in time for September when leagues are kicking off going into next year. We're going to do whatever we can. We're going to make sure our leagues are comfortable and safe and ready to compete and enjoy the sport. But I don't think June, July are the months that we're going to look for a lot of activity. We'll be very cautious going through that.
Sterilizing a house ball every time it's used is a very tall task, and it's probably something that we can talk about, but actually getting it implemented every single time that ball is touched is another story. So the safest way, we would hope, is for that person who normally would rent a ball or take a ball off the house rack would be go purchase a ball. And we're looking at different programs to how we can get people their own equipment, their own shoes, their own bag ball, and everything at a very inexpensive rate to try to introduce them to the sport and get them hooked, if you will. That's kind of a pun on word right there.
I think a really important question here is, who would be better at axe throwing, Robby or Fagan?
I mean, do you want the axe to spin like this or like that?
Well, I mean, has there been enough testing to see what's more efficient and what yields better results? But yeah, I mean, shoot, axe roll, I guess, is a pivotal part of what makes you a good axe thrower.
Yeah, I don't know. I would probably go with Robby here. My overhand motion from years of bowling is pretty well done. I tried to throw a baseball a few years ago, and it was really embarrassing. So I don't know about underhand axe throwing. You might end up, you hold on a little too long.
And I think I was bowling Billy Crane, left-hander from Indiana. And I just like, yep. And they just kept putting more money behind this guy. And I was like, all right, fine. And I'd strike, and he liked to talk a lot too. And I locked him out of something for probably $5,000. I don't even know, of money on the line. And that's what I said. That's why you bowl for lineage and I bowl for thousands.
Mike, how many friends do you think that are real friends do you actually have on Facebook?
3, and 2 of them are on the show today.
2 of them are on the show. The other one's Kim.
And one of them's debatable whether or not this person's actually my friend, because I run them through the gamut. Today, we're going to have Mike Shady on the show here in a little bit. But with no further ado, I guess we should introduce our guest today. His name is Mike Shady. He is a friend of ours, first of all. He's also part of our team. We've also been releasing instructional videos every Wednesday with Coach Shady. But Shady's part of our team here, and we wanted to have him on because we wanted to help people learn how to bowl a little bit better, and also let people know a little bit about Coach Shady to those folks that have been watching the videos. So let's bring in from Erie, Pennsylvania, our guest today, Mike Shady. Welcome to the program, Mike. It's nice to have you.
Thanks, guys. Looking forward to our discussion today. And Matt, I've got a Google form coming to the team here later today for Employee of the Month. So expect that later today.
I knew I loved you, Shade. I knew I loved you, Shade. I knew I loved you.
So tell us a little bit about that relationship with Jeff Riggles and why you've bowled with them for so long and how you can be friends with somebody that's so opposite of you.
He decided to get a team together, a couple of teams from Wisconsin for the USBCs, and asked me to be part of that team. And that's how we really developed, besides bowling in regionals and against each other. But that's where we really started developing our relationship. And Jeff is one of the main reasons I'm in the USBC Hall of Fame.
What was it that made you guys say, aha, we need to work together at the Open Championships? And then your results from that work and from that strategy almost every year is giving you a top finish.
Jeff was kind of the pioneer for our 2 teams, but he was on one of the famous Faball teams before he started our teams, and they won mini Eagles together, and that's kind of where it all started for Jeff. But he really evolved it to a point where, boy, we had specific game plans for everything, where we were going to start, the transition of bowling balls. He put 10 guys together that communicated well together, worked well, bought into the plan. And I've always kid Jeff that, he would share everything with anybody when we finished. There were many, many years that we led team. Some years we led every event when we left the tournament at the USBC, and Jeff would share everything. He would tell anybody that was interested how we started, where we played, how we broke them down, what balls we transitioned to. And I always kid Jeff that, if you would have kept some of that hidden, we might have a few more titles. But that was the way Jeff was. He loves to share his knowledge and some of his insights, and felt that, the best team's going to win, whether I share it or not. So, he was the pioneer for a lot of stuff you see today.
If you just stuck it out, do you think the resin equipment would have helped you win more titles? And is that something you think about?
I was with Mark McDowell. I was rooming with Mark when he won with the Excalibur the first week it made the show, and that's kind of how it all started. And the story, Mark and I were going to the truck to drill a hammer for the night block, and Tony Westlake stopped us and said, "Hey, you guys got to try this ball." We're like, "Nah, we're good. We're gonna drill a couple of hammers," and because it was Tony and we liked Tony, he was a good friend of ours, we decided to drill a couple of balls. And when I drilled it, I'll never forget when it came off my hand and it made a move at my break point like I've never seen before. I knew something. I thought the first shot I threw, I thought I hung in it a little bit. I thought, boy, that ball really jerked at the back. And then the next shot, I was like, boy, there's something different about this ball. And McDowell shot 300 over that night. I bowled really well. And I remember Bill Straw flew in the next week to work with me. And Bill and I talked, and he said, this may take you to the point where when you are lacking, the rev rate, it may make you a player where you can compete with those higher rev players. And but here was the problem. Once they started evolving the technology and the higher rev guys, RPM guys started learning how to use them and drilling them and different, and the core started changing shapes, it all became relevant again based on did you have a high rev rate?
Could you tell our audience a little bit about your relationship and how you've become friends with Mike Machuga?
Mike Machuga. Well, that would be 28 years ago. I met Mike because I started dating his sister, and then 28 years later, he's my brother-in-law, and he has been for the last 25 years. Now, I'll give you a little story about Mike. 12 years old, when I came into Erie, I would always work with Mike. And I remember calling Bill Straub up saying, I got this kid out of Erie, Pennsylvania. Every time I come back and see his sister, this kid is, whatever I told him to do, he's got it perfectly. This kid is going to be a star. I mean, he is really talented. He's only 12 years old. And he is. I mean, he's a tremendous talent. But I love Mike. He is controversial. He's a smart guy. He's a great player. He's my little brother, I call him.
Hey everyone, thanks for checking out our show. What an awesome week we had with PBA broadcast hero Rob Stone on Monday, the Youthful Bowl DMC on Tuesday, YouTube superstars Brad and Kyle on Wednesday, Triple Shift Entertainment's Mike Fagan and Robby Spigner on Thursday, and USBC Hall of Famer Mike Shady rounding out the week on Friday. If you like the show, be sure to check us out Monday through Friday on Facebook Live and the YouTube channel. Also, if you've missed any part of the show, you can watch them on YouTube as well as podcast form on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Google Play. Lastly, I'd like to thank all of our guests who came on the show. Without them, we wouldn't even have a show. And of course, Matt and I would like to thank all of you listeners for watching and participating during the show.